Hello everyone and welcome to Be on Reddit. My female 19 boyfriend, male 22, is very excited about a party that I'm not invited to. Original post December 6, 2023. We have been together for about 1 year and he's amazing. We have had arguments here and there but nothing too serious except this one. Last week he got invited to a college party and I wasn't, to which I don't really mind. The problem is, he was invited by one of the sorority girls who has made it clear that she has a crush on him on her socials. He plays football. She even has a highlight on her Instagram tagged "My Crush" with his pictures. My boyfriend told me there is nothing to worry about because he's only interested in me. He said she's delusional to think there could be something between them. The party is on Friday and he has been very excited about it. He already prepared what he was going to wear yesterday, Tuesday. He bought nude LV shoes and designer clothes. Normally he doesn't care. He's always showing me the party group chat telling me how amazing everything is planned out. As he was showing me, he got an Insta message from the sorority girl saying, "We should try it then." He swiftly swiped it away and acted like it was nothing. When I asked him, he said she wants to learn how to throw a football. Alright. I also overheard him talking with his best friend M about how amazing it's going to be. Honestly, I feel like this excited him more than our anniversary and it's hurting me. I asked him if I can join him and he told me it's an invite-only party, so I can't come with him. I need advice on what to do because I feel so overwhelmed and I'm probably not thinking straight at the moment. What should I do? Update December 11, 2023, 5 days later. Hey everyone, thank you all for opening my eyes. I didn't want to think the worst about my ex-boyfriend, but you all were right. After making this post, I had a lot to think about and evaluate from the comments I received. Some were harsh to read, but I had to. I spent the next few hours crying alone in my apartment. For a very long time, I have avoided the idea of snooping through his phone, but on Thursday night I did and found very disturbing things. I went through his messages and took relevant screenshots of him talking to his sorority friend, but what I did not expect to find was the things I saw on his Discord. That's why I could not make an update earlier. He mentioned that I'm his girlfriend to her and said he would leave me if she was up for it. He sent her flowers every Monday of the week since they started talking. Guess what? He has only bought me flowers twice in about a year. Since I could not go through everything on his Discord at night, I had to log in using QR code on my laptop and found out he was messaging young girls, some as young as 13. The next morning, I woke up and rushed to my mom's house and turned off my phone. We talked for hours until I felt better and she advised me on what to do. I cannot mention every disgusting thing he has done here, but they would send each other pictures back and forth. One of them was so in love with him, she would send him money and random gifts. Whether he reciprocated really doesn't matter and I don't care. I wanted to kick him out of my apartment so badly, but I thought it would be better for me to pretend everything is fine for one more day. So I messaged him and told him I'm at my mom's till Monday. Let him have fun with the sorority girl because it sure will be his last. I took video recordings and screenshots of every conversation and reported him to the local police on Friday evening with the attachments, and they got back to me on Saturday with a few questions. I told them where he was and I am the sole reason he got arrested in the same designer clothes he had on Friday. After all this, I had started realizing how manipulated everything he said to me was. He was my second boyfriend and I overlooked a lot of things because I was in love. Once there was a girl looking for him outside our apartment and she was at most 16. I knew she was in high school or had just finished by the conversations she was having on phone, but it never hit me that he was grooming her. I feel so disgusted and I probably need therapy to get through this. I no longer feel sad about him and the sorority girl. She can have him. He was on a college scholarship. I think that's gone too. TLDR, he got arrested for engaging with minors. Found an abandoned car in the woods and it looked like something bad maybe happened. Original post December 1st, 2023. I found an abandoned 1999 Honda Civic in a forest on the Nevada/California border, California side. Normally, I wouldn't think much of an abandoned car, but this just looked like something had happened. The trunk was popped and items still inside. These items were a box of diapers, a sunshade for a pram, an infant-sized winter jacket, a plush toy for an infant, and an open envelope for a paycheck from a business in Reno. The envelope has a name, address, and employee ID number on it. There was a baby carrier in the back seat which luckily only had some trash in it and not a baby. The other things in the car was just some food and drink trash and a sock that was baby-sized. All the baby stuff was pink/girly, so I assumed the baby was a little girl as well. The name on the envelope was female as well. The car had the license plate removed, the lights and radio removed, as well as the back tires removed. Outside the car was an empty box of diapers, a high heel hanging from a tree with the sole torn up, and the matching across the clearing on the ground, and a mound of fresh dirt between the shoe tree and the car. I took photos of everything and I wrote down the VIN and the name and address on the envelope. I wandered around the surrounding area of a forest a bit more and I found a pile of women's clothes strewn about on the ground maybe 100 feet away into the tree line. These clothes weren't winter appropriate. Looked like it was underwear, a bra, and some shorts. Seeing the clothes started to give me some worry for what may be the situation with this car if it's connected. I ran the VIN number through an online search and the number doesn't come back as reported stolen. The other things that unnerved me were that everything was dry and mostly clean compared to the surroundings. We've had consistent rainfall and the ground was muddy, yet the diaper box on the ground was dry. The cardboard didn't seem to have been rained on or anything or even absorbed much water from the mud. The contents of the trunk were also dry and fairly clean, which seemed wrong given the fresh mud and consistent rain. The exposed metal from where the tires were removed also hasn't rusted yet. The car also was neatly parked in the clearing and not on the road like it got stuck in the mud or snow. I called all this into the police, gave them photos and GPS location and Forest Service road number, but I've heard nothing back. The county this forest sits in is pretty small, so I don't know if the police have the resources to even check the car out. Given that the car seemed to be freshly left there and a child is involved, I want to get some closure that whoever this belonged to is okay, and this is just a stolen car left in the woods. Does anyone have advice on what I can do to get more information on what happened? I will admit this forest has always given me unnerving vibes, so maybe I'm reading too deep into this, but I do want to make sure nothing worse happened to whoever owned that car and the baby. Update December 2nd, 2023, the next day. I have good news, y'all. This was luckily best case scenario and my update is mundane. With the help of other users with far better detective skills than me, we were able to track down the individual's Facebook page. This has been confirmed to be the individual who owned the car. She's safe and her child is safe as well. She's active on Facebook and I contacted her with the information on where her car is. She had posted about it getting stolen in early September and no one else had stumbled upon it and told her until I did. Thank you to everyone who helped guide me to find her and help her find her car. I'm very happy this was just a creepy find and nothing more than theft. He still has his exes nudes. Original post, November 10, 2023. Am I in the wrong for feeling upset? This is my first relationship. It's one of them when you're basically together but no labels. We go to different unis, so distance makes it hard. And other things too, like him lying and being on dating apps when we said we were exclusive. Admittedly, I'm an insecure person. I don't let it bother me on the daily, but when I see pictures of his ex, I hate myself. This started when he kinda would bring her up a lot. I thought it was kinda weird, but they were together for 3 years. I found out her name through him talking about her. Found her Instagram. She could be Victoria's Secret model, and I'm not exaggerating. She's very beautiful. I'm not saying I'm ugly, but I'm definitely nowhere near her. She's an easy 10 out of 10. He said his friends would refer to him as the one with the fit bird. Not a fan of that language, but they're right. I am a 6 out of 10, 7 on a good day. I'm not ugly, but I'm not beautiful. It upsets me a lot. It makes me feel very bad about myself. I've tried my hardest to get over it. He says he's done with her, but he still has all her pictures. They broke up well over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. He still has all the pictures, including her explicit pictures. I've now seen this woman's pictures, and yeah, I definitely hate myself now. Why does he still have her pictures? Am I crazy for being upset over this? Am I letting my insecurities get to me? Is this normal? I get having a few pictures for memory's sake, But to keep lewd pictures of the woman you claim to feel nothing for? I don't know. All I do know is I feel bad. Things are great with us. He's so funny and caring, and I feel comfortable with him. I don't feel comfortable with many people. For example, instead of going home, he stayed with me, went to the shop, and we cooked his home foods together to make sure I'd eat. And I know he really does care for me. He comforts me while I cry about my past father. He listens to me when I need to rant. He always seems excited to see me. So I think that it's just in my head. But if he really did love me / like me, surely he wouldn't do all those things, and he wouldn't want to wait till December. This has been going on since February to put labels on it. But it's so hard to try and ignore his lying over the dating apps. How quickly he got with someone else when we split. He wasted no time, not even a week later he was just with someone else. But fair enough because we weren't together. But it still hurts. It stings because he expressed how he loved me and he wouldn't. It made me doubt the genuineness of words going forth. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal if he didn't say such things. Like, yeah, it would sting, but I would get on with it because I do have feelings for him and I am a bit naive when it comes to relationships. And this thing with his gorgeous ex, I don't fear them getting back together. I think he's so beautiful, but she's way out of his league. I'll be so real, can't even call her a 10 out of 10. She's scale breaking. She had always been pretty, but she had that breakup glow up. Think of Eastern European models. She could easily be one if she isn't already on her way. They're never getting back together. Plus, he tells me it was a toxic relationship, and neither of them would ever want to get back together. And I stalked. She has a boyfriend. But I feel not enough. If I was enough, he wouldn't keep those types of pictures of her. Or make a big deal about deleting them, like saying he can't be bothered. Here are some other red flags in retrospect. He tried to give me his ex's shirt to wear. He told me he loved me before we met in person, when we first met, and at random points throughout our time together. I feel as though he told me that specifically when things were ending between us, and I would stay because the idea of someone loving me is foreign, and I didn't think it would happen to me. I met him on Hinge, lol. I caught him twice on dating apps. He said he wouldn't do it again the first time and he was only doing it for a confidence boost. But he promised he would delete them, and then a week or so later I found him still active on the apps. He would consistently mention other girls to make me jealous. He would waste my time telling me to stay up so we would call, and then never calling me or making me stay up really late when I told him I'd be very busy the next day. I asked him if he could at least text me if he isn't able to call so I can do other things or go to bed instead of staying up, like an excited kid on Christmas Eve. Low-key fetishized my race and sexuality. I thought it was a joke, but he referenced both things a lot, to the point it made me uncomfortable. I mentioned this to him, that I thought it was weird, and I'm more than just bisexual and mixed race, black and white. Update. He claims he just hasn't gotten around to deleting them, but told me he deleted all pictures of her on Snapchat, and he has loads of photos in his camera roll so he doesn't see them. But in my opinion, he should have deleted them. Not even for my sake, but hers. Especially if he has already taken the time to delete them on Snap. I think it's weird to keep them kinda pictures of someone you're no longer with and haven't spoken to in nearly 2 years. I don't think her or her boyfriend would appreciate him having them pictures. I know I certainly don't. I'm kicking him out and ending it this morning. He made me feel bad by saying I'm all he has, but I'm trying to respect myself and stick with it. I have a bad habit of taking him back when he upsets me, because I tell myself I'm being dramatic, but I don't feel respected, and with everyone reinforcing what I've been thinking, I do think it's time to get rid of him. I think it is just hard because he is a lot of my firsts. Lastly, I do agree I need to work on my self-esteem, and I have. I've made tremendous growth compared to where I was. I can leave the house, I can entertain the idea of dating. I don't fixate on stupid, superficial things. I am a person of color that grew up in very white areas in the 2000 to 2010s. Unfortunately, a lot of what I don't like about myself was instilled because I was different. I never saw a representation of people who looked like me. Like having very coily hair. I had this disgusting notion built into my head that because I'm mixed, I should at least have loose, soft curls and a lighter complexion and green-blue eyes. I hate that I ever thought that. It's so stupid. But now I wear my natural coily hair out. I don't have to try and cover up my face to try and hide it, and the fact I can say I know I'm not ugly is substantial growth from my childhood to teen years. I'm actually extremely proud and thankful for my mixed heritage. Thank you all for your words. Second update. I wanted him back. I have issues, I know. He doesn't want me. That's it. Now for the relevant comments. A Redditor says, if he's on dating apps while in a committed relationship, then he's not committed. Many cheaters make their SO feel special when they're around them. It's a kind of manipulation. They also make their side pieces feel that way. As for the nudes, I think it's inappropriate for him to still have them after breaking up with her, much less while dating someone else. I know I would be creeped out to know that any of my exes were ogling my nude pictures. Also, I don't really think he's as over her as he wants you to believe. If he was, he wouldn't have those pictures. Speaking of, have you ever asked him to get rid of them? If he refused, big red flag. My advice to you would be to end the relationship. He does not respect you and doesn't deserve you. OP responds, I asked him to delete them when I found out. He deleted some and said he would do the rest later because there was a lot. He also said he's waiting to get a new phone. I don't know what year he is living in. In 2023, we have iCloud that transfers everything when you get a new phone, including the whole camera roll. I ended it and blocked him on everything. After reflecting and not having him physically with me, I'm quite disgusted. Update December 10, 2023. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex's ex that even though they broke up 2 years ago, he still has all her explicit pictures, ranging from age 17 to 20. He's 22 now. So I realized I had attachment issues, lol. I ended it, and then he was asking for us to not end, until he also agreed we should not see each other anymore. But then I didn't want to end it because I loved him and also had low self-worth, thinking he would be the only person to love me. With retrospect, he didn't love me, he just liked talking and not exclusively. But mostly he'd only really tell me he loved me when things were looking like they were going to end, or if I said it first. He's the type of person to tell you what you want to hear. Anyways, time passed. I do still care for him way more than I should, but my feelings for him have dwindled. I still miss him, but I don't love him, and I realized how messed up it truly is to have pictures of your ex 17 to 20 years old. He's 22 now. Not saying he's a pedo, but legally speaking, he did have child porn on his phone. I gave him many lectures on how bad it is that he still had them. He gave stupid excuses like I can't be bothered or I'm going to sort it when I get a new phone, as if iCloud doesn't exist. He's a liar, someone who tells you what you want to hear. He just agreed with me to shut me up. I had a feeling he probably still had them pictures even after he said he'd delete them. Surprise, he did not. When we stopped seeing each other one time, I asked him to delete what he has of me. He said he would. I come to find out he did not. Seems to be a thing he does. I messaged his ex and told her that he still has all them pictures. A part of me did feel bad because again, I still care for him and I knew in doing this he'd never talk to me again. So that was kind of sad. But I thought if it was me in her position, I would want someone to do the same for me. I also asked many females what I should do. They all said, tell her obviously. So I did. She told me how she asked him to delete all her pictures when they broke up and he said he would. This sounded very familiar. She thanked me for telling her. She called him and asked for a screen recording of him deleting everything, or she's calling his mom and letting her know what her son is up to. He eventually did. The gross thing is, he has 2 younger sisters. He tells me how he's scared for how they will be treated by men when they grow up. He's scared they'll encounter men like himself, in my opinion. He was very angry with me, told me I was doing this all out of spite. He tried to play victim, which I found very pathetic, saying I didn't think this would blow up in my face again, and thanks for kicking me down lower than I already felt, as if he's the one who's been violated. Actions have consequences. I think he still thinks about her. I refer you to the fact that 1. He still had her pictures. 2. He tried to give me her shirt to wear. 3. He made her one of his playlist covers. When I told him that was weird, he changed it. 4. I had to ask him to stop talking about her. They were together for 3 years and she's very beautiful. But 2 years had passed with no contact. She had very much moved on. Why couldn't he? Anyways, I know it was the right thing to do. I'm going through waves of I'm glad I did it and I'm sad he's hurt. But he's not the victim, and this was a truly eye-opening experience to who he really is. A little bit of a perv, collecting girls' explicit pictures as if they're Pokemon cards. I need to have better standards for myself. So I'm going on a date in a couple days. I met this guy at Wireless in the summer. Nothing happened. I've only met him once cause he went to America for his placement year. And I was in a stupid on-again, off-again prolonged situationship with the pictures of girls collecting guy. But he's back in the UK for Christmas. He's so wholesome and cute, funny. I'm punching for real, but he approached me, crazy, and he's so sweet. He doesn't ask me for pictures. He doesn't want to have intimacy right away. He'd rather build towards it, which makes me happy because I want the same thing. We're going to see Christmas lights, matcha lattes, food, and then I'm going to ask him if he wants to stay around mine so we can watch movies. He's very respectful, optimistic, and caring. He has sunflower energy. Also, he's good and doesn't drink, smoke, etc. I'm sober now, and being around someone who does that stuff is hard. Sorry for this being too long. That was the end of the video. Comment down below to share what you thought. Press like and subscribe and click the notification bell for more regular updates. Thank you for watching.